Welcome to Nuthin But Net, the podcast coming to you with an cool blast of cool air.
And just like the cool air that's blasting in your face, we're here from the start of the podcast to the end of the podcast, and it's going to blast in your head, it's going to blast around your ears, and it's going to get a little bit in your mouth, but you're going to like it.
Spring has sprung and the birdies are in the air, and all the new birdies are going to come soon as well, because the old birdies are having sex. Cool. And that means spring has sprung, and it's not the only thing that's sprung, because also girlfriends.
Yeah, when I think about sex, I get sprung. We kept it a little dry last time with our Oscar predictions, and we just thought we'd come in cool. We are skateboarders. We do own an ATV. We do own a skateboard ramp in the back of our ATV, and we go off it.
Tony Hawks came to my house last week, and he said, "You got half pipe this big in your house?" And I said, "Bammerjera, yes I do."
You got half pipe this big in your house?
You got half pipe this big in your home?
I don't think that was Tony Hawk.
I think it was, and he did a 900 on the ground. You know, he just span 900 times.
Yeah,
the 900, and it was so slick.
Oh, yeah.
And he was out. You know what's the funniest thing about Tony Hawk? And I tell you this for free, Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what kind of foot stance he's got?
Goofy.
Do you think it's goofy? No. It's regular.
It's regular.
Regular feet. Regular in the sheet.
That's what he always says.
Yeah.
I ain't no goof. I ain't no goofy.
No goofy for me. You can call me Mickey, though. Because I'm pounding loads of minis. Like little dicks. I'm pounding. You could call me Mickey because I pound so many mini. Said Tony Hawks.
He does. He said it to us. Well, to you.
I'll call him Tony Eagle because only a bird can fly that fast.
That's true.
Yep. So this is a very exciting episode of the podcast Nuthin But Net. You know, we've struggled manfully through the sewers for weeks now. Weeks and weeks since we started doing this with very little reward. Occasionally a friend will cast an askance glance in our direction and we'll go, okay, so you noticed. Occasionally someone will stop us on the street and go, excuse me, do you know where the Scott Monument is? And I'll say, oh, you listen to my podcast? And they'll say, what? But finally, after weeks and weeks of hitting rocks, we have hit pay dirt.
Hitting rocks with the
gold.
bottom.
Yeah. Rocks are actually the worst kind of gold. It goes rocks, mud, bronze, silver, gold, and then DVDs, Blu-ray, 4X.
A diamond is the strongest material.
The strongest material to make DVDs with.
Yeah. Or rocks. Or
roll. Rock and roll, baby.
Diamond rock and roll.
But Adam and I are in a very privileged position now because after weeks of trying it, we finally hit pay dirt. And what that means is we've got sponsors, baby. That's right. We're finally hitting that sweet Buco Dolores from the advertisers.
We'll be getting money in stuffed cash in our whole pockets full of stuffed cash.
If it sounds like my bum is more comfortable this week, it's probably because it is, because I'm sitting on bags and bags and bags of pocket lint, which is what I spent all the money from the first week on, because I do collect pocket lint and it is a cool hobby. Adam, what are you sitting on?
I'm sitting on a cool, what they call these chairs are called bongos. These are the big chairs that they make for bigger boys. Obama had one in his office. They gave one to Trump, but he doesn't sit down on it because it gets him too low to the ground. And what these are made of, they're made of a sort of amorphous material that confines to your shape and confines you in the chair where you sit upon it.
Yeah.
So it's like being trapped in comfort. So bongo chairs, they're comfo.
And they're not a sponsor of ours, just incidentally, but they are. Adam spent a cool $2,000 on his first bongo chair, and as the slogan says, comfort you cannot get out of and won't want to because it's so damn comfortable. But you can't.
Don't stand up from your bongo. You'll die.
Yeah. But your bum's gonna be comfortable as you like, as Adam would say.
Yeah, until you decide to get up.
Yeah. It's not even the most comfortable chair in the Beatles.
It's not. Because it wasn't around when the Beatles were alive.
No. And now they're all 65.
All
What a
of
trick
them.
that is. Will you still leave me? Will you still breathe me when I'm 65?
I was listening to their Lost album.
Sgt. Pepper.
And
No?
now for some more.
Oh, yeah.
Which is something that they recorded, but no one's heard but me.
And what are some of the tracks like on that?
John Lennon sings Goodbye,
Mm-hmm.
goodbye, yellow brick road.
Yeah.
I
think I've heard that one actually. I think I don't know how. I thought I was the only one with access to the secret album, but apparently you have too.
Yeah,
I've
Paul
heard the
McCartney
track.
sings Red Submarine.
I've heard the track that Paul does as well, where he goes, "Hello, is it me you're looking for?"
Yeah, that's
There's
a good
another
one.
Yeah, yeah. Another way.
There's the one where Ringo sings the I like little girls, they make me feel so good.
Yeah, that one got cut out, but and there's the Paul one. Won't you live and let die?
Yeah.
Which then he would, of course, famously re-record as a member of Wings, the band Wings, which is actually not the Beatles.
No.
A lot of people think of the Wings as just another Beatles album. The
They
Wings
shouldn't.
and Paul McCartney. They should not. It's a different band, and you would recognize very different drumming patterns.
There's no George.
Yeah, there's no George. Band on the run.
So what's the point?
Yeah.
Now, wings are great.
Chicken wings I can eat all day.
Oh, I
The
love a good
band
chicken wings.
I love to get a big bowl of chicken wings, and they always come with celery and blue cheese dip.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's no dip and no celery. I'm all about wings and nothing else.
Dry wings. It's my thing.
I like a dry rub. I also like a saucy rub. I'm just telling you. I'm not going to use the dip.
Mm-mm.
Back off.
No matter what dip it is.
Yeah.
Back off, you dip.
It's a dip moratorium, and I'm very serious about it. And also, no celery, please.
No.
The
Wings
only
and
sticks
celery?
that I need are chopsticks with which to eat my wings, because I like to bring that Oriental flavor to my American meals.
In your kimono. With your chopsticks.
On my commode.
Eating your wings on your commode.
Yeah. Look, we all know what happens to food. We can all be adults about it. Orange goes in, brown come out. I eat exclusively orange food. I do mean carrots. I do mean orange wings with a kind of Tennessee rub. I do mean
Oranges.
oranges and Gatorade that's orange.
Tangerines.
Tangerine dreams.
And exclusively drink Scotland's own Iron Brew.
Alan Blue. Which is actually not blue, it's orange. Which is a kind of a, for those of you who are from abroad, it's a classic example of Scottish humour.
It is a good joke.
I tell you, it's blue. It comes out orange. As a classic Scottish joke.
Yeah. You hear it 5 times a day.
Yeah.
When you're walking down the street.
Yes. A classic Scottish joke. Another classic Scottish joke is this. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
There's a wee jobby on your front door.
Wee Jobby at my front door.
Job is your own mother's name, actually.
Oh.
And then it's kind of an insult joke.
Well, us Scottish are nothing if not sharp-witted and barbed.
Oh, yeah. We know how to do a put down, but fortunately we know how to do a pickup as well. I'm talking about Scotch. I'm talking about the original Amber Elixir, which is also technically orange, so I can drink it. It does come out brown.
It
I
does.
have brown urine, because I only drink Scotch, and I do not like it, so I have it often.
Scotch and Iron Brew.
I used to have Alan Blue. I
Oh,
can't have
Iron
Iron Brew anymore, unfortunately, because I am allergic, and it makes my mouth go big.
Happens to everyone.
I get pimp lip, and it goes... I'm talking as if a pimp had hit me across the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Pimp lip make your mouth go big. For me, Alan Blue makes me pimp lip. And I can't be any clearer than that.
I don't think you can.
So, this is going great. Me and Adam are easing into the kind of seamless repartee that you probably associate with this podcast at this point. But we need to take a break to touch on one of the aforementioned adverts. Now, don't be scared. We're going to try and do this in a seamless, cool, charming way. So it won't be boring like other adverts. So, without
We are
further ado-
contractually obliged, though.
Yeah, we do have to do it in order to get money for chairs and also lint.
Bongos ain't cheap.
Lint is cheap, but not in the quantities that I buy it at. Even at wholesale prices. This is a lot of lint.
One small bungo ain't cheap.
Well said. But anyway, I'd like to say this episode of Nothing But Net podcast is brought to you by 7-Up. Lemonade. Adam?
Well, we don't want to barrage our viewers with adverts or anything, but this podcast was brought to you by 7-Up Diet. Walk on the wild side, a little sugar.
You don't want to be drinking that 7-Up Diet. It's for wimps. Fool Lemonade. This advert is brought to you by Fool Lemonade.
If you ever drink a full lemonade, your whole house is going to explode, Shug. You just don't worry about a thing. You have a little diet 7-Up inside your tummy. If you got a baby in there or anything, it's not going to scare the baby. It's just juice.
Get wet, full sugar, full lemonade, no wet lemonade for wimps. Get dry with wet lemonade in your brother's house with your sister-in-law. Secret illicit lemonade to 7-Up Fool. And that was our adverts for the first segment.
7-Up.
Which were incidentally both paid for by the same company, but with two very different messages. So it'll be interesting to see. We haven't heard these adverts yet. They just get inserted in by the sponsor, but it'll be interesting to see where our listenership goes.
Yeah. I think we're going to have a couple diet heads in the house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is there any chance that anyone in our listenerhood is unhealthy? Probably not.
Probably not.
I imagine people mostly listen to this podcast while they're doing a marathon or
eating a marathon or a Snickers bar.
Or kissing a marathon of girls. That's 26 girls and a half.
The half kiss is just because your lips are too tired to keep kissing.
Just kiss my top lip. I've got one wet lip, one dry lip. I kissed an old man on one lip once. Wouldn't recommend it. No, it was me. I visited myself from the future. Just to see if I could.
Kiss that one lip.
Hey, look. It's me. Kiss my top lip, me.
And yeah, that's how time travel works.
I didn't recognize myself because I don't know how I'm going to look in 50 years. So I misunderstood and thought it was just an old man saying, kiss my top lip, meat. Which is even more disgusting.
You kiss my top lip, mate.
I was thinking, I turned to my friend Niall and I said, hey Niall, if he'd just said top lip, I might have done it. But the meat comment really threw me off. Gross.
Yeah. Meat's gross. Top lip's cool. Meat, no.
Yeah, that's how I always say it. And the next episode of this podcast, as in this episode, the next part of this episode, and I'm reading this one, is brought to you by Spaghetti Bolognese. It's just a meal. Help yourself. It's sort of like worms on the bottom and then sort of like poo on the top. I've had to describe it with metaphors, you know.
And I should state that spaghetti bolognese comes from the can, and it comes in two separate cans. We got spaghetti can, we got bolognese can. You can have the spaghetti on its own, but you don't want to have the spaghetti on its own. So why don't you sit down, chill out with a 7-Up diet or regular full fat? It's your choice. It's your life. And why don't you chill out with dual cans, spaghetti and meat?
Yeah, spaghetti by itself is just worms.
Mm-hmm.
You want to add some of that meat, add some of that poo. It's gonna
feeling like a lost boy eating those worms.
Yeah, I don't understand the reference, but if I were lost, I suppose I would have to eat worms in the end.
You do.
You feed into my future as well.
You have to.
Crap. Well, that's something to look forward to. No, I'm being sarcastic. I'm not looking forward to eating worms, actually.
And that is, we forgot to add, it's Dunk's spaghetti and meat.
Yeah, the brand Dunk's and the meal is spaghetti. Yeah. Bolognese, scusi.
It's technically not allowed to be called bolognese, but it is if you mix them together, because if you do it inside your own home, they can legally call it bolognese, but outside it is spaghetti and lunch meat.
Yeah, what you do with your lunch meat, whether you want to use the alchemical powers of Dunk to turn it into spaghetti bolognese, is very much on you. And we, as a podcast, assume no responsibility for the medical incidents associated with combining these worms with this meat. Because we are already worms.
Let me tell you, boys and girls, adults, too, this meat's a slam dunk.
Oh, yeah.
Just say that again, just...
Oh yeah, it's hot.
This meat's a slam dunk.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, it's sort of like...
We are contractually obliged, just to make sure that sticks in your head.
I think this meat reminded me of, because he sent us a few sample cans to test before we endorsed it. I'm happy to. It reminded me of ice cream in the sense that you have to swirl it around between your teeth for a very long time before some of that sand starts to come away.
Yeah, it's
and
hot.
then it's just a case of sticking out your tongue with as much sand as you can as possible. Take a tissue, just an ordinary tissue, and just scrape your tongue with a tissue to pick up as much of that sand from the can as possible. And what you're left with is a very swillable meat, a very liquid paste that actually does in some cases taste like meat, and in other cases worms.
Yeah, it's a hot, chewy meat, and you are gonna want to stir your meat with a fork before you put it in the microwave. After you've taken it out of the microwave, give it a good stir.
Yeah.
Maybe put it through a sieve just to be sure.
Just in case. Just in case.
Yeah.
I like to hold a magnet up against it, and I feel that gets rid of most of the filings just on the first pass.
Yeah.
So 98% of your problems there are actually solved just on the first pass. And then the last 2% of metal, what's it going to do? Your body can digest a lot of that, and it will just come out as poo.
Your body can eat a lot of metal.
Pardon me. I've been eating it for days now, and my skin has turned a healthy, well, I won't say which color, but let's just say it's not pink. And my palms are, well, they're different.
Certainly different.
Way. I have different palms now. But other than that, I've noticed no side effects, and I haven't been able to pick anything up apart from the cans. And I think a lot of that is to do with the fact that I'm turning magnetic.
Yeah, and also, those cans, you can't not pick them up if you're in your local supermarket.
It's a canny choice to pick up a cane.
Yeah.
And, yes, so please, our beloved listeners, go out there, buy the cans. They are not available in any stores. Find them, eat them. Send them an email. They do not have an email, but work it out and tell them Ross and Adam sent you, because then we get a sweet kickback. We get to keep this podcast running, asking the hard questions, and doing a power of good for democracy, which is how I like to think about this podcast.
Ross always gets a can of spaghetti. I always get a can of meat. We never combine them, but we sometimes find our own cans of spaghetti. Respectfully, I get spaghetti, he gets meat sometimes.
It's a kind of thing. It's a kind of family banquet.
You can save up those cans as well. I mean, you can save up those cans because those cans, they never go out of date because they are already spoiled.
I've been having a lot of luck going into KFCs and just being able to eat the cans there. Sometimes they catch me and they can obviously tell I'm not eating a KFC product and they do not want me using their cafeteria area of the restaurant. But other times, particularly when it's busy, they're too distracted. Yeah. And there's no time to come over and say, sir, who are you and why are you running magnets over that can? Get out. And yeah, I can highly recommend eating tins of worms and old off meat in KFCs.
Just do it.
Nike, not a sponsor, but if they would like to, join 7-Up and
Dunks.
Join Dunks. There is some more space, although actually we have sold quite a lot of adverts for this episode.
Yeah, it's going to be mostly adverts.
Yeah.
Because the last episode was so popular and the Oscar team got in contact with us. Yeah. Oscar himself gave us a call and said, boys, you've done it again. This time, I'll make sure your voice is heard. Yeah. So look out for a special mention of us at the Oscars. Probably James Corden, top host of the Oscars, is going to say some sort of great joke. Yeah.
Felt almost like maybe a circular went around Hollywood or New York or London and all the big metropolitan cities, and maybe Oscar himself said, these are two podcasters who mean business and understand show business because they are actually somehow got the inside loop on the Oscar noms before anyone else. It wasn't exclusive.
And it was a letter he wrote to us, and it was on a typewriter. It wasn't a letter written by a computer, so we could tell it was written by his own hands. Yeah. And it said, if they made an Oscar for Best Podcast, you boys would be the winners. There wouldn't even be another competition holder. There wouldn't be another person.
Yeah, there wouldn't be a single other competition holder. It would just be you. Yeah. So I think that's probably why we've gotten so many advertisers. And obviously the upside of that is that me and Adam are raking it in, and I have already signed up for hand gliding lessons and paid a good amount of the deposit down. And as far as I can tell, Adam is some way towards getting that one section of his bedroom wall papered, one with a hole, or he at least has the money to buy some newspapers to start, which is great news because it has been very cold in Europe until now.
Yeah.
So that's great for us. We're making the money, but you need to keep buying our advertisers' products, and we need to keep playing adverts.
Help me cover my ghost hole. Listen to these adverts.
Yeah. So without further ado, here's another, as in goodbye, because this is the end of this segment. I know it's further ado is a joke. Without further ado, as in adieu, my dear, I don't give a damn. Here's another advert.
Have you ever looked out at the sky and thought, the walls are closing in on me and there's nothing I can do? Do you hear a low hum? Like something is inside of your head and you just can't get it out?
Yep.
Well, have I got the cream for you?
What?
Anti-depression cream is new and it's big. And it's been coming out everywhere. Doctors have been recommending it for years, but it's finally on the market in Britain. So you can rub it on what you do is you get your T-zone, which is your nose and just above your eyes, and you rub that anti-depression cream deep into your T-zone, and it releases chemicals into your brain that make you not sad anymore.
Thanks. Thank you, Adam, for the delivery of that wonderful advert for depression cream.
Yeah, it's good.
I wouldn't dare use it because I don't want to mess with my brain's already very delicate chemical balance.
Yeah, that's fair.
I took
They don't make it big enough for me because it doesn't fit my head.
Yeah, you need about 10 tubes just to get over the I zone, let alone the T zone, the top bit.
And they only sent one tube.
Yeah.
One tube between two.
Yeah. So I just ate it. And it didn't make me feel any better, it didn't make me feel any worse. So I encourage people, if you are not depressed but are peckish, it's actually very tasty too.
The cream is orange, I should state.
Yeah, it's orange cream. Sometimes I'll have orange ice cream.
Yeah, like tangerine cream.
Tangerine cream, island blue cream, whiskey cream,
you can get them
carrot cream.
You can get made chocolate orange cream.
I never had that claim. I never had that claim, but I could try. I could ask.
You could, yeah.
A lot of these ice cream shops nowadays, you can just actually go in the store, in the front door of the store, and say, "Oh, I'll have Mr. Bertie Bott's every flavor ice cream," and they'll go, "What?"
And they'll put it on your ice cream. And you'll take a lick, and you go, "Ew, bogies."
Yeah.
Ron, this one's got trotters on it.
Yeah, and then you do the whole Harry Potter film. Ad-libbed, but also every word accurate, and you just do it next to your friend at Ron. The Ron. Also, I could eat Ron, because I've got on account of his head being ginger and red.
He's a ginger boy.
I don't know what I mean by eat him. If I was a cannonball, I would eat him. Human cannonball.
If you were the first human cannonball, you would eat Ron first.
If I was Desert Island Disked with Ron, I would probably eat him before trying to get help.
Yeah.
I think straight away I would turn to cannonballism.
If you're Desert Island Disc, why not be a cannonball?
Yeah. Oh, here's an interesting question, Adam. Before we get to our next sponsor, what are your Desert Island eggs?
Well, I've got how many am I allowed?
5, I think.
Okay.
And then also the Bible and the works of Shakespeare.
Yeah, it's got to be the Bible and the works of Shakespeare, and then I think my first Desert Island Disc is Midsummer Night's Dream, read by Lawrence Fishburne. My second Midsummer Night's Desert Island Disc is Othello.
Yes.
I don't care who that's read by, because it's good. It's a good read either way. Good listen.
Oh yeah.
Number 3, we're probably coming in quick on Captain Corelli's Mandolin. And fourth, I think it's got to be Taming of the Shrew. And then fifth,
yes, Besoft my lady, what give a Darth?
Yeah, and
there's a great line from that play. Hark! There's a minor buffet in my crom. Besooth, my foffeth. The lady has much wile. Not me. Say it. No, Antonio. No. Sorry, it's just my favorite line of monologue.
If you can record yourself reading Taming of the Shrew, that'll be on my Desert Island discs for sure.
Gladly. And I tell you what, I'll do it right now. We open upon a beautiful vista in Shrew, which is a small town in England, I think. Man walk out. Man named Ian. Ah, what bad day I have. Much envy of my brother, Peter. No, I jest in folly. Mine own brother Peter is dead. Dip, droded, like ein shrew off nature's own hand from winter chill. Sally walks in. Sally is bearing child. Ian, hark, bad brother thou art. Where is my son? Ian replies, in thine own arms, foul beast. They laugh. The badger comes in. Ha! Ye beeth both merry memes for my sallow. He stabs them both in the head and they die. Gah! Gork, bringeth forth mine plate. I eat them whole. And that's just, sorry, I will do the whole thing later, but that's just scene 1 act 1 from Taming of Shrew.
Cool.
Played principally by Ross Foley.
Okay, so number 5 of my Desert Island discs, it's probably got to be Metallica's greatest hits.
Oh, nice.
So
Into Night. Okay.
I want to listen to, how many CD players are on the island?
1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll make do.
See, I know, like in my ideal desert island scenario, I got 1 CD player over by where I bash the lizards' heads in, and I got 1 CD over by the sea where I try and escape. I always think of the sea as the kind of exit of island, and then you've got 1 other one inside the hilly brush.
Yeah.
So that's 3 CD players, 1 for each scenario.
I mean, ideally, I'd want that, but
sleep in the brush, eat lizards, try and escape.
I want Taman on 1 CD player. I want Midnight on the other.
And then right in the middle.
And I want to walk between them and just be like... No, I used the Metallica Greatest Hits CD to...
Oh, by the way, for those of you who are not in the room with Adam, he's making the devil's horns when he says Metallica, because it's a rock band, by the way.
I used them to... I used the Metallica CD. I never play it, because I know them all by heart. I use it to catch the glint of the sun to cook all the fish that I catch.
Yeah. Oh, I just eat lizards.
Because I don't want to ruin my Shakespeare's.
I'm on a sea lizard diet. I am eating lizards when I see them.
When I see them, I eat the lizards.
Okay, so my desert island dips would probably be... number 1 would be a stash of weed.
Yeah.
Number 2 would be... you know the impressionist Roni Ancona?
Oh, yeah.
She'd be fun to have around to do impressions of. You know, if you were just with 1 person, you go nuts. But if you're with an impressionist, it's like being with 100 of people. So she could just do an impression of a boat builder, and then we'd probably be off in a week. Number 3, I would also want the Taming of the Shrew. It's my favorite play, and I perform it gladly. Number 4 would be just to win the lottery, I guess. And then number 5 would be 5 more wishes. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Sorry, listeners, I'm having a glass of this beautiful wine that our next advertiser's Peace Wine supplied. And this is the only wine, excuse me, I've had a little too much Peace Wine. It's the only wine supplied by them to us this week.
Yeah. So what's the name of this wine?
Peace Wine. It's $39.99 is the cost. But they wouldn't tell us where the dot goes.
No, well, that would be a bit gauche of them.
Yes, so it could be very, very cheap wine, or it could be normal wine.
You never know until you taste, is what they always say about wine tasters. Sommeliers always say, it's all in the taste, it's all in the smell, it's all in the taste.
Take a sip, spit it out.
I've seen the movie.
Drink it back up again. It's good wine, don't waste it.
I've seen the Sommelier movie. I've seen a whole movie about wine.
I've seen that movie as well. Is that where the sommelier pilots kidnap
Tom Hanks,
Mr. Big or
whatever
he's
drink
called?
Wine?
Yeah. Look at me. We're drinking red wine now. And that's a very good Captain Phillips joke. Thank you. Ross? You're welcome. Ross?
So they have sent us red. It is red. It's more of a deep black, the wine that they've sent us, but I'm a white guy. What can I say? I like my Zinfandel and I like my rosé. I know that's not white wine, but I like it.
Zinfandel to me is what rhymes with go to hell. So I say Zinfandel, go to hell. And here's another joke that I would do based on my wine preferences. You can take it as red. What kind of wine I'll be drinking? It's red wine, by the way, not white.
Rosé, just okay.
Yeah. Rosé wine is sort of pig wine for idiots.
Yeah.
White wine is acceptable on a summer's day or a boat. And red wine is very much the preserve of cool dudes, Johnny Depp, me, women who I fancy, women who I don't fancy, men who I don't fancy, and me. I guess again, me again.
Well, that's cool.
Pardon me, I just had wine burps, which is a well-known phrase that everyone uses.
And peace wine will make you burp 5% more than the usual wine.
It's carbonated wine, which is odd for a red wine.
It's like Schlur, but alcoholic. Very alcoholic.
Oh yeah. It's 99%. So, for those of you who are on the webcam, you'll have noticed that my eyeballs have started to bleed and bubble. That's normal. I like this. This makes me know I'm getting a good buzz.
Blotto, as they say.
I'm getting absolutely blotted.
They've always said it.
This wine's going right to my fanny. As an American could say that because it means the bottom.
Yes. They could also mean it in the other way, but they'd be being crass.
Fanny in this country means something entirely, well, not actually entirely different. I suppose, compared to everything else,
it's pretty
bums
close.
and fannies are pretty similar.
Yeah, they're fairly close.
But I don't want to get into philosophy right now.
No.
What's the two most different things you can imagine, Adam?
Probably like a very smooth stone that's been smoothed by the beach. And probably the thing that's furthest away from a stone is a big boat.
Big boat, very different than stone. Very well done. I would probably say the two most different things I can imagine are this podcast and a podcast about the internet consistently.
I don't think so.
Just a little joke. Well, of course, this podcast is obsessed with the internet.
Just because we don't talk about it all the time doesn't mean this isn't a podcast about the internet. Get out your own assholes and get on the net yourself.
Here's the truth. The premise never was that we'd be talking about the internet. We just promised that we would be browsing the internet while we lazily did this podcast.
Yeah, and I'm looking at shoes for sale. I'm looking at slacks for sale. I'm looking at a nice garden deck for sale. It's a build your own deck. I'm on Argos.com, baby.
Oh yeah, and that does bring us to our next sponsor, which is IKEA. If you want to build it yourself, you can do so with IKEA. IKEA. It knows everything, Adam. And that's what that stands for.
If you want to go to IKEA and you want to sit down in the prefab living rooms that they have set up, or the prefab bedrooms that they have set up to show you where their products can sit, you can do so. They cannot kick you out. It is a legal right that you have to sit in their house and sit just in those rooms. And you can do whatever you want in those rooms. Anything you would do at home, you can do there. You can look at television. You can you can read the paper. You can even have your way with your woman, and there's nothing they can do about it.
I've sullied a few sheets in there in my time, not with a woman, mind ye.
No.
Just in my own time with
brown.
Brown is exactly what I was going to say.
You can make brown in IKEA too, and there's no way they can kick you out because they're not allowed. And you can sit in the bed. You can make brown in the bed, and you can click your fingers. You can get a member of staff to come and bring you some of that sweet bratwurst that they make in IKEA, the German company IKEA.
Bratwurst. Yeah. Oh, you say, I want to make brown.
They say, we famously make meatballs, and you say, well, I've already got a tub of Dunk's meatballs, so I don't need your meatballs.
No, and obviously, it goes without saying, brown makes brown. So the closer the color the food you eat is to brown, the quicker it'll come out brown. So that's why I never eat chocolate, because chocolate is just like a coin falling in a well. It's there right away. Chocolate poo. I eat orange. It's close to brown. If I was going on a very long run, I'd eat pink or
blue,
light blue or something. Yeah. Very far from brown. eat the sea and then you never do a toilet.
It's just a true fact.
Can I be any clearer?
So-
No, but it's true. You can do whatever you want in IKEA, and I find if you just scream human rights, while you tear things apart, and I like to take one of the little pencils and just jab it through holes in the bookshelves,
Oh yeah.
and then I go, "What now? Your move, IKEA."
I like to take a big bundle of the pencils, so I get a fistful of them, like 2 handfuls, as much as I can hold in my hands, and then I draw with them along the biggest, whitest wall I can find. I draw a big willy, and I say, "Your move, IKEA."
Excuse me, sir. Could you stop that, please?
Give me a break.
Yeah.
Jeez, come on.
No, it's okay. I understand. You're a very creative guy. It was very nice. But we have Blackboard. You could go right on the Blackboard.
Why don't you just fuck off? Is what I scream.
Would you like to look at the kitchen? It's got microwave mess.
Yes.
Okay, great. What sort of budget you playing with? He's Italian now, so yeah.
Yeah. I'm very easily distracted from my IKEA
Willies.
IKEA penis willy parade.
Which is strange because when you're away from there, it's all you think about and talk about. But then when you're there, the slightest deviation.
I go in and I draw it,
Mm.
and I say, I go up to people as they walk around, and I pretend like I didn't draw it, and I go up and I go, "What do you see?"
Yeah,
IKEA penis
yeah,
is what I say to them.
yeah. You go to the Swedish IKEA as well,
Oh yeah,
and you do the
like the
Swedish
original.
voice. What's that? What that? You see?
You see IKEA
In
penis.
broken English. Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
like, "What is wrong with this guy?"
They love it.
And you're wearing a uniform of someone who works at B&Q,
Yeah.
which they don't even recognize because that's not one of their stores.
No, but it is my work uniform, and it is the only fully intact clothes that I still own.
Yeah, yeah.
I work at B&Q. I'll sell you a light fitting,
Yeah.
but if you don't mind the smell,
Your smell.
yeah, I just have a stench.
Yeah, yeah, well, you know what? Nice to be honest. I smell too. I smell of very expensive aftershave that I stole and very, very cheap deodorant that I stole.
Just at the same time.
Yeah.
That's good.
I went into a Boots and I went, better balance this out. I'll take top aisle, bottom aisle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm using Givenchy men's aftershave, which is unusual.
Le Sauvage.
Le Sauvage by Jean Depp. And then I'm using a deodorant brand called Stonk, which
Is another sponsor of this podcast.
welcome to Stonk, baby.
You want to smell stonking? You will smell great. Have a bit of stonk on your dinner plate, is what they always say.
Oh, Mum, I've just come back from a date with Elizabeth, and she said I smell like a boys' football team, Mum.
Well, you can get rid of that awful stench that you've got in your area. You can get a nice little bit of stonk in your armpits, boy.
Can I use it on my pubis?
You can use anything on your pubis, son, as long as you can fit it down there.
What?
Why don't you grab a bit of stonk, rub it all over your mound, and just have a sniff?
Oh, thanks, Stonk. Now I smell like an anthill instead of a molehill. And there you are, Stonk. Promises to make you smell like a worst bad hill,
Yeah.
is their tagline.
You'll stink, but not like you stank before.
Yeah, it's nice. It's realistic. Links.
Stonk that stink.
You know, Links will tell you that you put on their deodorant and then it come out, you are a hunk.
Yeah, you made a chocolate and girls eat your arms.
So let me get this straight. I woke up, I'm 500 pounds, I've got a terrible head, I've got a terrible face, I've got a nose like a guy who just went 10 rounds of Muhammad Ali, I've got eyes like a shrew, I've got hair like someone who went to a blind barber, and you can't even see my chins for chins. And I'm going to put this spray on, and I'm all of a sudden I'm Bradley and Cooper? Let me get this straight, I'm Bradley and Cooper? I woke up this morning, couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. I looked at my penis. I mean, I knew they could go small, but that small? My knees are so fat. I put this spray on. All of a sudden, I'm all Smith. Give me a break.
Come on, no way. Lynx sells lies. Stonk sells pies as well as deodorant.
And that's the mark of quality, because actually a lot of the stuff that you put in deodorant you can't put in pies.
No.
So if you're using the same factory, then the stonk promises, I'd probably eat it, so why can't I spray it?
Exactly. But we would recommend, and we have been given to this by Stonk to say, do not try the pies because they are poison.
The pies are a loss leader. They're just there to get for something for the factory to do. They actually get more money on government handouts just by employing local reprobates from a prison reform program.
Yeah.
So it's a loss. It's one of those.
Drench him in Stonk and get him on that pie. Wort line.
Get them on the pie line. It's actually one of the better smelling pie lines in Bristol. Not that that's here nor there.
No, it's in Bristol.
It's there. It's neither here nor there. It's there. Is a classic Michael Caine line.
Yeah.
Don't blow the bloody doors off. It's there. I'm on an Italian job.
It's the perfect line at the very end of the Italian Job.
Hello, I'm Michael Caine. And when I've had a long day on a movie set, I cover my body in stonk and I go and meet Laurence Olivier for a pint. And let me believe you, he smell bad, but I smell nice. Next time you're on a movie set, come and give me a kiss. If you're a girl or boy, it's me, Michael Caine. And I recommend this. And that is just audio from an advert that we...
Good old Mallow Caine.
Little Milo Caine that we found from an archive of original adverts.
The original Stonk.
Yeah, and it was a double series that he did with, you may have heard him mention there. He mentioned Laurence Olivier.
Mm-hmm.
Olivier actually did an advert. It was on I think it was a co-promotion that they ran with the movie Sleuth. The classic crime thriller double act, Sleuth, the two-hander Sleuth.
Yeah, and then Stonk and Sleuth.
Stonk and Sleuth, and then Olivier came out and did his advert.
Stonking great sleuth. That's what I'd always say.
Well, I think that may actually be the tagline to Sleuth.
Mm-hmm.
But Olivier would come out and, what would he say? Well, actually, we actually have the audio of Olivier's radio advert too. Just press play on that now.
If you've come out... I was in Arabia for 10 years and my hair was blonde and it was great. So... if you're stinking for a stonking, give Olivier a call. You'll have a stonking great time. You'll be covered in deodorant. You'll reek from head to toe, but I'll love it. And that's real audio from Laurence Olivier.
Incredible. The audio quality is so high.
It's
what
the
was that advert about, Ian? It seemed like Michael Caine was pretty on message.
Yeah. Laurence Olivier was real. He'd had a couple pints.
He clearly had a couple of pints. But nonetheless, good old fashioned advertising.
Yeah, it's top notch.
Yeah. And I still use the product every day.
I stink of Stonk all
summer.
Yeah.
I don't use deodorant in the winter because that's overkill.
Well, I think of Stonk all Stinter and also Stole.
And string.
String.
No, you don't use it in string? Or just all year round?
Oh, no, I think of Stonk all Steer Stand.
Good for you.
I think I stonked.
I think I saw a putty cat.
I think I stonked a putty stonk.
Dead. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a great product. It's wet. No, it's dry.
Wet and dry. If you put water on it, it'll get wet.
It's the only chemical that will get wet if you put water on it. We promise you that much. And it is its own chemical element, stonk. But the chemical on the periodic table, it's spelled
stonk.
Pu.
It's just STONK.
It's not included in a lot of conventional periodic tables because the printing cost associated with a 5-letter word are so great.
It's too long. Stonk too long.
That's the same reason why they don't even include zirconium. Fool's gold isn't on there.
Mm-hmm.
You won't see grass on the periodic table. You won't see Betty Davis eyes on the periodic table.
No.
You don't see rubidium. You don't see Greece, the country, even though it's very old.
No.
So
you don't see anything really on the periodic table. All they got is helium, hydrogen, and they got zinc.
And boring old oxygen, which just makes air.
Yeah, who cares?
Oxygen's air.
What
water
you really
is
want
wet
to do
air, I think.
Is order the alternative periodic table, which you can get off another one of our sponsors, which is Harry's website. Harry's website gives you access to pretty much all the lost things. So like Illuminati gives you access to all the Watergate tapes. Gives you access to
some old Warhammer figurines that they don't make anymore.
It uncovers the Benghazi cover up, but you have to spend. And it's different tiers that you can get stuff.
Yeah.
So you can get a PDF, which you can then print out of the real, and I say real, and I really do mean real.
Real, yeah.
Periodic table.
Yeah, and I mean that's a pretty low level one. If you want to find out what kind of shady shit the Clintons have been into, then you're gonna have to subscribe to their kind of minimum, to their silver package. You're gonna get access to what's the real periodic table and who actually shot JR at bronze.
Yeah, and it's called Harry's website. It's not run by a Harry. It's just called Harry's website because that's the single most innocuous name for a website.
Yeah, and I think also
Harry's website
dot secret. And I'm actually up at gold level, so I know a little bit more than Adam perhaps does, who's a classic silver.
Yeah.
About and I don't mean to tell tales out of school here, but suffice to say, it's also named Harry's website because it was actually set up by Harry Nimmo, who is the Nazi sympathizing creator of Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, okay.
And Harry Nimmo is a very queer duck, insofar as he would like to see the extermination of many races, including his own, the white race. He believes that humanity will only ascend to the next level when Asians are given space to do their thing. And that's why he created Jimmy Neutron, which is obviously a cartoon that quite openly advances that particular mindset.
It really does. When Jimmy Neutron has a brain blast, it's it's clear to see that it's clear to see the real intent behind the writing.
Scenes of Chinese imperial glory will often play in montage, while other races, up to and including Jews, blacks, and whites, I don't know if it's technically correct to call Jewish people a race. Ashkenazi Jews, I suppose, are a race. More of a religion, more of a faith group.
Yeah.
He describes himself as a Nazi, so I imagine there's something in there about the Judaic faith.
It's probably safe to say.
He wants to get rid of Christians too, and Muslims.
Well, that was clearly, I think that was the intent in Jimmy Neutron. That was the intent of the character Sheen.
Yes, that was very much my reading.
Yeah. Destroy
all the Abrahamic religions. Shintoism as a go.
Yeah.
And that's actually a quote, I think, by Jimmy's dad.
We saw clearly in the episodes with Carl, Jimmy's friend Carl Weezer, and his friend Sheen. There's a clear difference. One is more physically strong. One is
perfect,
more powerful.
A physically gorgeous specimen. Yeah.
one is smarter. One is better.
Yeah.
Just generally fitter and stronger. And his name is Sheen.
Yeah.
And Carl Weezer's left in the dust.
Yeah.
Much like the Judaic people.
And in this particular worldview, all other people.
Oh, Carl isn't just a representation of Judaism. Carl is a representation of all the weakness in man.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't agree with it.
No.
But
it's very compelling.
See it.
And believe me, I've walked up to a few bridges and considered throwing myself off for the advancement of the neutronic worldview, the neutronic Reich.
And I think really almost. Carl's love or even obsession with llamas throughout Jimmy Neutron is really it's talking about debasing oneself with animals.
Interesting. And that being a necessary part of enlightenment.
Yeah.
That being the first step, if you like.
Well, it's weird that they gave that to Carl, who's the worst in every other
Yeah, it's an inconsistency, but I suppose the point there is that we all have a Carl within us, and provided we're an Asian person, we can overcome that. If we're anyone else, good night sunshine.
Yep.
But again, this
and
is
I feel
the
like maybe a lot
perspective of a very weird man.
Yeah.
Who just happens to run a great website and have created the world's greatest cartoon, Jimmy Neutron.
I feel like a lot of it was lost though, because obviously Nickelodeon had their fingers in the
the
pie,
censors, yeah,
and they had to really work around a lot of Nickelodeon's problems. I mean, the character of Goddard was originally going to speak. He doesn't really speak in Jimmy Neutron. Jimmy Neutron's robotic dog Goddard.
Yeah.
Instead, he was supposed to be a very acerbic, have a voice of a very overweight man.
Yeah.
And he was, he was supposed to tell Jimmy to burn things or do bad things.
Yeah.
And Nickelodeon said, no, he barks like a dog, and that's it.
Yeah. Typical censorship from the white Hispanic black lobby.
Yeah.
To stop the inevitable rise of China. To a point of dominance unimagined even in the days of Caesar.
Yeah, and Nick's just really... It's splattering that Nickelodeon goo and really just not thinking about the consequences of its actions.
Yeah, go ahead and remove the goo, is what I say to Nickelodeon. I think they should just be showing back-to-back Neutron all day long. Not that I agree with it,
Though,
but just from a human interest perspective. And then documentaries about how they made Dexter.
we will... I mean, we did just do the Oscars.
Yeah.
But I feel like we will really have to do the Kids' Choice Awards and do like
yeah.
a whole episode just about all the new Kids' Choice Awards that are coming out, because they really are the Oscars of the Kids' Choice Awards.
The new kids' choices on the block, if you will.
Yeah.
And I just want to get away from the kind of obscure
Jimmy
racial ideologies.
Jimmy
and start talking
Neutron
about kids shows
won't be
again.
winning any awards, that's for sure.
Put it this way.
It's old.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch, 1.
SpongeBob, 2. Probably,
My Life as a Teenage Bat,
yeah,
3.
3. We've got,
Wiffle Ball.
oh, that's an easy 5. Recess,
5.
6.
Don't Shoot Me or My Mum Will Shoot Me.
That's 7. And iCarly, 8 and 9. And then Jimmy Neutron sits in at a fat old 10.
Yeah. And then number 11 doesn't exist yet. There's only ever been 10 shows on Nick.
Nick.
But I think probably number 11 will be a very funny show with the Jonases.
Oh,
They're just egging
probably.
on for a comeback.
Yeah.
Jonas Go Home. Could it be called?
Drake and Jonas.
Oh, wow. I never thought I'd be in the Jonas Brothers. But I am. I'm so
not an episode, it's just
lonely
one
at
song.
the top. Suicide is painless. Suicide is painless.
And then it's MASH.
And then Mashup. It's a classic mashup. It was already a mashup because there was Mash, and then there was Drake and Josh and the Jonases.
Yeah.
So it's a double mashup.
Drash and Jash.
Drash and Mash would be a funny name for a different show.
Mash and the Drash.
Meet the Dragons would be a very funny sitcom that I am writing, so copyright careful.
This is a real look inside the writer studios of top.
This
NBC,
is what it's like.
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon, NBC,
Cartoon Network.
BBC, various Chinese channels.
CNN. Chinese news.
That's what Donald Trump likes to call it, baby. Yeah. It's that's very funny, Adam. It's great to know you're on side.
Thanks, Trump.
And obviously, Trump loathes Jimmy Neutron and the pro-Chinese message it advances.
Yeah.
This kid, Jimmy Neutron, is trouble. We got Neutron. He's creating science beyond even our wildest dreams. And he's only 9. And he's pro-China. This won't do. I'm going to be the next Jimmy Neutron. Carl? Who's my Carl? No, I'm only kidding. That's actually Donald Trump was not in the room. It was me, Ross Foley.
And obviously this Carl is Mike Pence.
Mike Pence.
And it's Sheen. It's got to be his beautiful wife.
You know, I heard Donald Trump came to London to visit Theresa May, and he lost his vice president. And someone thought that he was asking for the lowest denomination in our currency. I lost my pence. Where's my pence?
Have you seen my pence?
I've lost my pence. And everyone was like, you're a multi-billionaire. Why do you need 1 penny? And he was like, what? but the joke was lost on him. Mike Pence.
He's no Jimmy Neutron when it comes to the jokes department, I'll say that much.
No, Jimmy Neutron very funny, but still at number 10, so that should give you an idea of how good Sabrina is. They had Hillary and Xena, the ants.
Yeah.
And the cat, Darkster.
And Zenith, and Hillary.
And then the boy came up the ladder. Chloe, the boy.
Oh.
And they played the guitar with a whammy.
And he's all that.
Hey, Clarissa. I mean, Sabrina.
Hey, Sabrina, explain it all to me. You're a witch. Pretty sweet Harvey, right?
Hey, it's me.
I loved the last episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch where Harvey rolled in on a Harley and he took Sabrina away from her wedding forever. And that's how Sabrina the Teenage Witch ends. Spoilers. Sorry. Not sorry.
I like the last episode of Clarissa Explains It All, where Clarissa drives off a cliff.
Finally explains it all.
And explains it all before she lands and then explodes at the bottom.
Like the extended cut of Thelma and Louise.
Yes.
Where they explode.
Yeah, or the extended cut of the Smurfs.
Where they explode.
Where they explode to death. Anyway, this last segment has been brought to you variously by the Smurfs, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Clarissa Explains It All, Jimmy Neutron, and the Chinese government. And we do have to disclose that because they have given us money. But, wow, we covered a lot of them.
We really did. We've spoken about a lot.
Yeah, we've talked a lot.
We've talked a lot. And we've
talked a lot. We've covered a lot of ground. I'm John Oliver. What's going on?
That's a great John Oliver impression.
Thanks. It's the exact same as my impression of Sherlock Holmes.
Well, because they're the same man.
I live at 221B Baker Street.
When you're British, it's hard to live in America because all the money's different. And also, when I go and buy a Twinkie, it's not a young boy, it's a chocolate snack.
John Oliver's show last week today.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is John Oliver. And every other night for the next 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And James Corden. Who could forget James Corden?
Who could
Hello,
forget James Corden?
Jack. Welcome to my American show. I'm writing a new poem about the Queen, who you don't know, because I know her, because she's from my country. Ooh, what's the difference between dollars and pennies? Bad luck, sport.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I got carried away doing my famous James Corden impression.
When you go down the shops and you get a kofta and you go and play football with the lads. Or I love to sing in my car. I've got a beanie in my car. I can wear beanies now. I can. They told me so on the show.
James, you're pretty successful. You can wear beanies now.
Oh, blotto. Oh, beanie. I like to wear beanies when I go down to Central Park with my friend Seth Meyers and the Bloodhound Gang.
The Bloodhound Gang.
From the band.
Oh, yeah, I know.
The Bloodhound Gang. Well, I'd love to talk about James Corden all night and all of the day, but I can't. I have to go to my job.
Because it's late.
Selling bells for a living.
Hell's bells.
No, the name of the company is Foley's Bells, and we are currently in liquidation.
Oh, well.
But
Are the bells still solid?
No, bell's still ringing. But when you are going already down a waterfall and you are already about to die, keep rowing. That's what they say, keep rowing.
That's the advice they give you in hospitals. That's the advice they give you
down waterfalls.
Psychiatrists, and that's the advice they give you in the whitewater rapids of life.
Yeah.
And the whitewater rapids in life.
Yeah.
When you go whitewater rafting.
Life's a boat. Hop on.
Get on board. Get on the canoe and just keep on rowing until you turn blue.
And I'm gonna remove myself from the Limp Bizkit joke I was about to do to say thanks for listening. I give the internet an A* this week because it's A-levels week. And goodbye, Adam.
Yeah, and I give the internet probably a good solid B for Beats Beans, another sponsor of us. And if you want to have a hot bean in your stomach, just give Beats Beans an old taste. Why not try Beats Beans? Come on, have a Beats Beans.
Thanks, Adam, and thanks, Beats Beans, and thanks to all of our sponsors for sponsoring this episode of the podcast.
Yeah. What are you going to do after the podcast?
Well, I'm working.
Oh,
Selling
okay.
bells.
I'm probably going to have a little stonk bath.
Oh, nice.
Douse myself in stonk, have a bean.
Not recommended by doctors or either of the companies sponsoring us, but Adam persists.
What are you going to do? You going to come to my house and stop me in my stonk bath? No way.
No way.
I'll stink
It's a
too
free
much.
country.
I'll be too pungent for you to even get hold of me.
Yeah, very tough. He's a tough old bloke.
It also makes you very slippery.
Just like a lizard.
Just like a lizard.
She takes just like a lizard, but she smokes like a little girl.
Thanks, Bob Dylan.
Thank you, Bob Dylan. Goodbye,
Goodbye,
Bob.
Adam.
Goodbye.
H&L in war.